Nintendo revisits one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time with Ocarina of Time 3D. More of an enhanced port than a full-fledged remake, Ocarina not only manages to enhance the classic with tasteful revisions that still preserve its essence, but also feels fresh with a friendlier interface and tweaked visuals. Is it still the stuff of legends, or is Father Time finally caught up with Link? Ocarina of Time serves as a sort of cornerstone for the series' mythos. As young Link, you're tasked with saving the Kingdom of Hyrule from the evil Gerudo King Ganondorf, who's hell-bent on claiming the sacred Triforce. Denying Ganon this holy object requires Link to not only cross the vast realm of Hyrule, but travel through time itself. A cast of quirky and eccentric characters guides you along your journey, many of which leave a lasting impression. Ocarina's updated cinematic sequences are a relic of an older age, but they hold up quite well. The writing hasn't aged as gracefully, but it still gets the job done. Link's quest to save Hyrule is filled with exploration and peril. The adventure is broken up into roughly two segments. You begin as young Link, and you're strung along a focused guided tour of Hyrule in a linear fashion. Things move along at a slower pace to ease the player into the vast world, but eventually Link grows up and enters a darker, meaner Hyrule. This portion of the game is roughly twice as long, and the experience shifts to a more open style where you're free to roam around as you please. The original Ocarina of Time refined the series' patented structure, and the remake doesn't deviate from this formula. The padding leading up to each dungeon isn't nearly as bothersome as more recent installments, and you're occasionally given some leeway in regards to what order you tackle your objectives. There are also numerous side quests at your disposal. You can easily lose yourself for hours on end trying to accomplish a secondary objective like trading masks or forging a new sword. However, it all comes back to the dungeons, and this is where Ocarina of Time truly stands head and shoulders above anything else. The layouts for many of the dungeons are beyond anything you'd expect. Puzzles are clever and demanding, enemies are plentiful and menacing, and more than once, you'll find yourself at a loss as to what to do. In-game aids come to the rescue at times, especially the new Hint movies, but for the most part, you're left with nothing but your own wits to overcome these labyrinths and their mammoth guardians. Getting through the game is an enormous undertaking that will leave you with a sense of accomplishment, but there's more to do after the credits roll. Completing the game unlocks a new mode called Master Quest, which features a mirrored world with rearranged versions of each dungeon and much tougher enemies. In addition to Master Quest, you'll also unlock a boss rush mode once you reach the adult segment of the game, providing even more challenging diversions for those who can't get enough. There have been slight tweaks to Ocarina's physics and mechanics, but for the most part, controlling Link is still a breeze. You might find it a bit difficult to move around precisely on the 3DS's analog pad at first, but it's a brief learning curve. A core set of easy-to-execute basic attacks and movements are at your disposal, and combat is simplified with an intuitive lock-on system. Not having free control over the camera is a minor headache every now and then, but you can at least reposition the camera behind Link at any time with a quick tap of a button. The touchscreen is highly optimized for a more streamlined experience. You can simply tap a tab on the bottom screen to toggle between submenus, and then quickly change out gear and items. Additionally, many key actions are mapped to touchscreen hotspots for easy access. Tedious actions are a thing of the past. Of course, you're also given the option to use face buttons to navigate submenus and use various items. You can also play the ocarina using the touchscreen or face buttons, and if you forget a song, you can bring up any melody in real time for a quick visual aid. Most of the items function in the same manner as before, but a few now take advantage of the 3DS's motion capabilities. You have the option of aiming your bow or slingshot by moving the 3DS around in real time, and it's actually quite useful. Also, in certain situations, tilting the 3DS will give you a quick glimpse in that direction to see what's ahead or better observe your surroundings. There's also a few other minor revisions, most notably the laser sight on the hookshot for improved aiming. Nintendo really optimized around the 3DS's layout to accommodate the control scheme, improving an already polished system. It might take veterans a short while to unlearn the older scheme, but the new setup is truly for the better. If you've written off the system's 3D effect as a gimmick, it's time to reconsider your position. This is a game you need to play through from start to finish with the 3D turned on. It not only looks more natural, but it also enhances the experience with deeper immersion and an improved sense of depth. When the effect is turned off, the anti-aliasing kicks it up a notch, delivering crisper images. That said, Link's new animations look a bit goofy at times, and it's obvious a few areas received more TLC than others. It's still a solid-looking game overall, but it's nowhere near pushing the limits of the young hardware. The game's score receives a minor update, though it's difficult to really tell the difference. It's high on the nostalgia factor, but after teasing us with a fully orchestrated track in the new credits, there's certainly room for improvement. There's no voice work other than a few grunts and yells from the characters, and Navi's classic sound bites are still there to drive you insane. Whether you're new to the series or a returning veteran, Ocarina is a game that stands the test of time. It's a great showcase of the system's 3D capabilities and a definite must-own for a starved library devoid of any real killer apps. There's never been a better time to return to Hyrule.